We've been down to Drano. We've been down to the Wind. We've spent time on the Columbia River this year so far, and we have found a lot of success in doing so. 2,500 fish have just recently crossed over Lower Granite Dam. That means that a more localized fishery is about to take place for me. It's a super windy week, 14 to 20 mile an hour winds all week with 30 mile an hour wind gusts. And so I'm not gonna take the little boat out there on the water and go risk myself and all my stuff to go out there and try to bonk a fish on the boat. But what I am going to do, another hyper effective way to go out and target spring Chinook or Chinook in general, sockeye, steelhead, and that is plunking. Welcome back to another Walking on Water tutorial. In today's video, we're gonna go over everything you guys need to know from river spot locations all the way down to the meat and potatoes of the setup, the rod, the reel, the line, and exactly how to set up your Spin-N-Glos or your plugs to go out and effectively target spring Chinook plunking from the bank. Stay tuned, guys. All right, guys. So first things first, let's just go over the rod super fast. This is an Okuma SST. It's a medium heavy rod. It's a 9.6 rod. And this is a 3000 series Kmar or Samar by Okuma as well. And I have it paired with the 40-pound high-vis enforcer braid from Addicted Fishing, okay? That's how I like to run my initial plunking setup. I love a braided line for plunking because yes, we're gonna talk about weights and stuff in a second, but there is sometimes, depending on how rocky the bottom is, a high probability to get snagged. And I like that braid because it's a nice, firm, stiff line that I can go ahead and give a nice crank to and get my lures and baits back 95% of the time, okay? So again, we have an Okuma SST 9.6 medium heavy with the Kmar 3000 series Okuma spinning reel with the 40-pound high-vis enforcer braid. So this is how we're gonna start out our setup here today. We're gonna go through right now on exactly how to set up for plunking. Let's get right into it. All right, guys, so we got the handy dandy plunking box right here. And as you can tell, we have a bunch of Spin-N-Glos in there. And I'm a huge Spin-N-Glo fan. That's what I like to use. I like to use Spin-N-Glo, I like to use eggs, some sand shrimp, some coonies, stuff like that. But 95% of the time, I'm using eggs, and we're gonna go over exactly how to tie up your hook really fast so you can utilize that egg loop knot. Whether or not you're using eggs, sand shrimp, or a coonie, it's effective for all three of those different baits, and it's a super effective way to keep your bait on the hook when you're plunking, guys. So let's get in and let's tie that up super fast, and let's keep setting this bad boy up. All right, guys, and the hook size is actually a size 4 Big River bait hook by Gamakatsu, okay? Don't want to pronounce it wrong. Gamakatsu, okay? Big River bait, love these hooks for plunking. They absolutely do the job, guys. They absolutely do. All right, guys, so what I like to run for my leaders when I'm running this setup, before we even tie it up, my goal is anywhere from a 24 to a 30-inch leader when I'm plunking, okay? So the shorter the leader that you're gonna have, the higher the angle in the water they're gonna be. Imagine I'm the weight system right here, and this is gonna be your leader if you're running about a 24, and this will be your leader if you're running about a 32. So I like to run anywhere from a 24 to a 32-inch leader, and I always run a fluorocarbon 30-pound line for my leader. I just like it. It's a nice stiff line. It likes to sink a little bit. Those Spin-N-Glos want to lift up. And so we're gonna run a 30-pound fluorocarbon leader down to our hook, and we're gonna tie up a bait loop knot right now, guys. So what you're simply gonna do, it's about as easy as it gets. You're simply just gonna not drop your hook just like that. Then you're gonna grab your line, you're gonna put it up through the eye just like so. Then you're going to wrap it 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then you're just gonna grab your main line, put it through the eye, and then just pull it straight back up just like so, okay? Now, how is this a bait loop knot? You simply just push your line back out, and then you just pull your line back in just like that. This is how I tie them up, and I know it's not how everybody ties them up, but this is just a super simple, easy way to tie them up on the fly and be fishing very effectively, very fast, okay? You have a tag in down here, you just pull that tag in down tight, pull that line up just like that, and then you can simply just loosen up the line and then pull it back down tight again, and you can wrap your eggs up just like that, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and trim the tag end. Okay, hashtag trim your tag ends, guys. just like that. Now we have our leader tied up for plunking. Super simple, super easy. If you guys want to go over to the channel, Walking on Water, you can look up how to tie up a bait loop knot. It actually has Jeffrey Dahmer's picture on it in a ball of eggs. That's exactly how to tie up an official bait loop knot for all these setups. Also guys, if you guys enjoy these videos at all, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification. There's gonna be a lot more content like this to come this year, as well as go over to the Walking on Water private fishing Facebook group and talk to me there, ask me any questions, and go like the business page, guys, Walking on Water. Okay, anyways guys, so now let's get into setting up the rest of this setup. The first thing that you're gonna need is a 3-way swivel, just like so. Super simple, super easy. You can buy the longer 3-way wire swivels as well. They're about 2 inches long from bottom to top, and then they have a 2-inch thing, a nice spreader. But I just like simply running the nice and easy 3-way swivels, and I will show you why in just 1 second. So we're simply just gonna grab the 3-way, and we're gonna do a fisherman's knot where you simply just wrap it 8 times, guys, and then you put it back through the loop and pull it tight, okay? Never had this knot fail on me. So many people I feel like a lot of people like to overcomplicate knots. This knot has been catching fish and working for people for years and years and years and years. It sucks down super tight and it never goes anywhere. You can definitely not overcomplicate your knots, or you can, that's to each his own. This is just the knot that I tie, guys. So 3-way swivel tied directly like that. Then what's next is we're gonna put together the rest of our setup itself just really quick, and then we're gonna go through the rest of it. This is a size 0 Spin-N-Glo. It's the biggest Spin-N-Glo that Yakima Baits makes, and I prefer these Spin-N-Glos over any other size. I like a nice big presentation in the water, especially when I'm presenting my eggs to these Spring Chinook. Then I'm gonna grab out of my nice little plunking box, I'm gonna grab 2 6mm beads just like so. I'm gonna feed 1 bead down the line. Okay. Then I'm gonna feed 2 beads down the line, both 6mm beads. So then we have 2 beads fed down the line, just like so, guys. Super simple, super easy. We're gonna take our Spin-N-Glo and we're just gonna feed it down the line. There we go. Got it, just like that. So this is literally the entirety of our setup, guys. 2 beads up to a size 0 Spin-N-Glo, just like this. Spin, 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 baby. Just like that, okay? So, now that we've got our leader all set and ready to go, we're gonna tie it to the opposite side of our main line. So this is flat right here. The T part of the 3-way swivel is the part we're gonna actually attach it to. So we attach it just like so. I'm gonna trim a little tag off because I like mine to be about 24 to about 30 inches long, really. 32 is a good place too. I just like to keep them in that range to start. So again, another 8 wraps. Put it through the loop like that. Wet your knot. And then suck it down tight just like that. Okay, and there you have it, guys. Now we have our leader. We have our leader just like so, attached to our main line and our 3-way swivel, okay? Next, the type of weight system you're gonna wanna use, we're gonna use a dropper on this plunking setup on that 3-way swivel. I like using the pyramid weights. When you cast them out, they face down, they dig in just like this, and your line stays right in place, guys. Let's get this thing attached and let's talk about how and why we attach it the way we do. All right, guys, so I always bring plunking with me a smaller size leader or a smaller size piece of string or fishing line than my main line. I was an idiot and I've made this mistake before where I was running a 30-pound leader and my dropper to my weight was 30 pounds as well. What happened? I got a fish on and the frickin' fish gets the weight snagged up on a rock, and you can only imagine what happens from there. 30 pounds, which one's gonna break first? No, I just lost the fish, then I lost all my tackle. So what I have right here, this is a 4-ounce weight. I wouldn't use anything lower than a 10-pound line up to maybe a 15-pound line. I'm using a 30-pound leader and I'm using 40-pound braid as my main line. So 15-pound dropper is a perfect size. If you do get hung up when you get a fish on, or you do get snagged and you can't retrieve your weight, it's gonna be easy to break and you're not gonna lose all your gear. So we're gonna tie this up right now. We have our 4-ounce lead, just like this one right here, a pyramid weight. And we have our 15-pound line, and we're simply just gonna attach it just like we did the other ones. We're just gonna tie a quick little fisherman's knot. And I know there's probably more effective ways to hook these up super quick, but I tie up all my droppers before I go fishing, so I have them all locked and loaded, ready to go, okay? So all my droppers are tied up before we go. I'm just setting up for this. It's actually a really smart thing to do, guys. Tie up all your dropper leaders before you go fishing, so when you're plunking, you can just grab another one and throw it on super fast. Because you don't want to be sitting there, you lose something, you lose your weight, and it takes you, you know, 3 or 4 minutes or even 30 seconds. 30 seconds is a long time when you want to be effectively fishing as much as you possibly can. So tie them up before you go. Super simple, super easy. And then just like so, I like to run anywhere from 8 to 10 inches, maybe even 12-inch dropper. And I will stagger my lines. If I have my kids with me and they have rods in the water, guys, I'll run one with a 12-inch, one with a 10, and one with an 8, just to give those presentations a little bit different depths in the water, especially if I'm running all the same leader lengths. So it's just another way to target a lot more pieces of the water column while you're fishing from the bank. Then you just take the bottom part of that 3-way swivel where the main body of the T, not the T part of the T, but the main body of the T, and you're just gonna simply tie your weight to your setup one last time. Okay, again, the fisherman's knot, just pop it on through there and pull it on tight, baby. I actually do have a bunch of eggs carrying up right now, guys, and I didn't bring them here with me today because we're planning on going plunking this weekend, and so I didn't want to compromise or take my eggs out of the brine just yet to throw some on here, because I only have 4 skeins of eggs right now, and I have a couple trips coming up where I'm going to need to utilize eggs. So right now I'm trying to be in conservative mode, but you simply grab your eggs, a skein of eggs, take about a 1-inch little piece of eggs, cut it off, hook it onto your hook just like so. I like to take the skein side, the thick skin, not the berry side, but the skein side, and I like to stab the hook through the skein side and bunch it up towards the top of the hook. Push your bait loop out, just like so, push your bait loop out, wrap it around the eggs, and then just simply pull it back down tight. Now that we have our eggs connected, okay, hypothetical eggs, of course, and we have our Spin-N-Glo set and in place, now let's get into casting the rod into the water and utilizing this amazing fishing hole. We got 4 ounces of lead on here, and we have our Spin-N-Glo just like this. You don't want to grab this rod, and you don't just want to frickin' fling it as hard as you can, as fast as you can, and tangle all your gear up. This is a nice slow motion back, arching and flinging, but you're trying to lob your cast. You're not grabbing it, and you're not just freaking whoop as fast as you can. You don't want your stuff to get all tangled up. Now I know these 3-way swivels do a very good job at not letting anything get tangled up as you're fishing with them, and that's why I love using them so much. So a nice lobbing cast out into the water system, just like that. Waiting for it to get hung up on the bottom. I feel the bottom right now. Okay, and now we're on the bottom, guys, just like that, okay? I feel the bottom, I feel the weights hung up on the bottom, and now what do we do with the rod after we're hung up on the bottom and we just want to sit back and chill? Simply just grab one of these nice little rod holders right here, grab your trusty hammer, and just pound it into the ground. Set your rod in the rod holder just like that, and now you're fishing, baby. Now you can go cook some food, you can drink some beer, hang out with your friends and family, and just relax and wait for a nice big Spring Chinook to come up and bonk your line. All right, guys, let's go over really quick what to look for in some spots that you guys could be more effective plunking, and how to pick apart the water a little bit so you guys can put yourself in a position to catch a little bit more fish. Let's go check that out. All right, guys, so I brought you to Google Earth here, and the reason I'm doing so is so I can show you how to properly break down and choose a spot when there's so many spots on a very big river, okay? This is the Clearwater River, It's close to me. It's one of my, excuse me, it's one of my local rivers. It's about 2 hours away from me, so it's not really that local, but it's the closest one that holds salmon to me. So let's start out with a mark right here, okay? This is a great place to start utilizing the bank to plunk for Spring Chinook. Why is that? First of all, you have a nice bend in the river, right? And I would actually put the mark right here. You want to fish these marks a little bit beyond the bend. As you can see where my cursor is moving right now, okay, see the cursor moving? This is a bend in the river and it's directly above this rapid that you can see on Google Earth right here, okay? You can see the rapid, and as you move up, you can see that the road and the river bend around, okay? Right after that bend is a very solid place to set up for plunking because not only is it above a rapid, it's on the corner of the bend. And as you can see via Google Earth, yes, the channel is where this mark is on this side, but the fish are also traversing on this side as well, this gravel bank, the path of least resistance. The deeper water in a rapid where this mark is right here is probably not moving as fast as the water over here on this mark of the rapid being a little bit shallower, okay? And so the salmon take the path of least resistance up the water system. So I myself would probably set up right around here or maybe even right around here at the top of this rapid. Now let's look at a little bit of a different scenario, the bottom of a rapid. As well, you can see this mark right here on the map is a little bit shallower. You got that sand bottom. And now, yes, fish would probably move up right around through here and up through there. But right here along this bend, this is actually a boat ramp right here. So a lot of people utilize this boat ramp. That's one thing, but just to put in. And so this is a nice bend in the river as well. And it's also below a rapid and above a small rapid right here. So this is a nice lull point right here in this corner to where you could utilize this bottom corner mainly right around here on this blue mark to target fish. Now, why am I showing you this in particular? I'm showing you guys this in particular because you don't want to go down to a spot, in my opinion. I think you're going to have less of a chance catching a fish on this blue mark right here on this giant long straight stretch than you will if you're utilizing something like this right here where there's a nice bend in the river system, as well as this one right here with another nice bend in the river system, just like this bend in the river system and this bend in the river system. So I wanted to show you guys what to look for when you get to the water, but you can also do your homework at home via Google Earth like we're doing right now, so you guys can be a lot more effective on the water. So when you're looking for a plunking spot, look for bends in the water and look for the channel. If you have the channel and the bend, that's a great place to start. All right, guys, I hope that Google Earthing helped you in some way. It helps me a lot by utilizing Google Earth so I can see what spots that I want to go to and what to look for in the actual river system to make me feel a lot more confident on the water and be a little bit more effective on the water. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to another Walking on Water tutorial. Absolute amazing to get to be out here and show you guys my methods and what I do when I go out plunking with my friends and family. It's a super effective and super fun way to get out and get a tangle with one of God's most amazing creations, the salmon, the Chinook salmon, the Spring Chinook salmon. And so it's one of my favorite things to do. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll catch you in the next one.